Hi. Hi, everyone. What's up, Joelle? Okay. We all know that if I come live on YouTube, I normally have my laptop so I can actually control, especially the, what do you call them? What are they called? Oh my God, super chats. So I don't have my laptop. So it's just us on my phone. So bear with me. We got Queen of Orchestration, Yara, Joelle, Rachel, Megan, Hawkeyes. What's up, friend? I'm not sure how to say your name, but it's Queen. Queen is in there. Mandy, Vonnie, Keisha, Nicole, Happy Panda. Is it Jean? Jean Marie? It says Miri. Not sure if that's really your name, though. Gabby. And Rhonda. My girl, Rhonda. I'm totally fucking off right now. I am supposed to be up here folding and putting away 3 laundry baskets worth of clothes that I don't feel like doing. And I keep finding other things to do so I don't have to do it. I have to do it. Not doing it. So here we are. I had a goal today to finally get... I'm down to 3 boxes left in my room. I got rid of 3 more today. I know, you guys are like, bitch, what's that got to do with manifestation? It's got nothing to do with manifestation. I'm sorry, I'm just letting it out. The decorating is going slow. Very slow, Rhonda. Ooh, Sarah. Okay, bear with me. I'm really reading this from my phone, so. Okay. Hey, Kim. I just spent the whole weekends with my BF for our anniversary. Well, happy anniversary, first of all. Manifesting is done, but why is there micro things from Old Story happening? Like him taking me home early and phone sneak. All right. When you say phone sneak, who's doing the sneaking? Like it's him sneaking off with his phone? Okay. So as far as the manifestation is done, but micro things are coming in from the Old Story. Remember, at every given moment, and let me just preface, I know this can be annoying to hear. I know it can. But it's important so that we stop having to deal with or put up with micro anything from the Old Story. Because, again, to anybody that's new to the whole, manifesting an SP thing, I don't know how you could be new to it, though. I mean, it's literally everywhere. Everybody talks about it, manifestation. But I'm just saying, if you're new to it, they don't have free will. So, specific person is never willingly trying to conjure up shit from the Old Story. Now, I'm not saying you're cuckoo and that you aren't really experiencing what you're experiencing. I believe you. But only from your perception can anything in reality actually be, this is going to just sound like I'm taking you in a circle, but can actually be what you think it is. Only you can experience something and give it the label that it's, little micro stuff from an old story. Only you can do that. Why? Because your reality is you. Because of who you are as I am, as source. So, for example, you get in the super chat and you writing that to me, okay? Nothing wrong with that. But in that moment, that was just like saying, I am the version of myself that has manifested her specific person, but stupid micro stuff from the old story is still happening. I'm seeing him show up with old behaviors. It's just like you saying, that's who I am. And to consciously manifest is to get yourself out of the habit of identifying with it. Now, I know, especially if you're new, I know you're not new, Sarah, but this is for anybody else listening. I know by what I just said, that probably sounds like, okay, I'm supposed to ignore. I'm supposed to ignore it. I'm not supposed to react to it. I'm supposed to put blinders on and ignore it. And that's not necessarily what I'm saying. We can be aware of what we think we're experiencing in reality, but what we label it is where the whole I'm in charge of my reality comes in. So, number one, if you feel like you really are experiencing things from the old story, we can give into it. We can keep labeling it that way. We can start viewing him as, I'm going to use the popular phrase there. Here he is. He's being hot and cold again. It's hot and cold. Little things are coming in that I don't like from the old story. We can go along with that. Or we can say, okay, I can see that these behaviors or whatever it is, specifically that he's doing, were things that he did in the past that I did not like. And then we would give them, this is just from my perspective, we give them the label of, okay, I can see this is where the old story is playing out. I can see it. But that doesn't mean it's going to bring me the same results. Doesn't mean I have to keep agreeing with it and keep claiming that that's who you are. No, when we want things to change, when we want behaviors to go away, things that we don't find favorable, then we stop agreeing with it and we continue to remember that we are source and deciding who you are. Your ego, right? That little part of you that likes to be logical and wants to overanalyze everything in reality, especially a specific person. We can give into the ego, but we don't have to. Now, again, your ego's not bad, but it's the ego that wants to get you entangled and come back to protect yourself, right? It's the ego saying, oh, there we go. Look at that. He's doing old behaviors. Look at that. He's doing the sneaky shit with his phone. He's doing this. He's doing that. You better protect yourself. Because, right, that's what ego wants to do. It wants to protect you. It's like the little girl in you or little boy, whatever. But ego doesn't run the show. Source does. I am does. So that's why we remember that we're source. We come back and we decide again. We decide again who we are. Now, granted, these are my words. So I am the version of self who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That is who I am. What I'm not telling you is you have to tolerate things that you don't like in reality. I'm not saying that. Feel free to set all the boundaries you want. It's your reality. But from the perspective of, I want to analyze what he's doing. I'm afraid he's going to keep doing these things. We don't want to feed into that. We don't want to continue that story. So you bring it back. You come back to knowing who you are. Choose again. Try not to feed into what you think is happening. And by feed into it, I mean marinating in it, agreeing with it, analyzing, worrying. No, you double down in your story. You double down in who you are as source. Okay? Any tips on how to think when he drops me off? I cried to him. I'm so embarrassed. You got nothing to be embarrassed about, my friend. Don't be embarrassed. Why? Because you had emotions. You had feelings and you expressed yourself. So what? You have nothing to be embarrassed about. Did you specifically tell him why you were upset? That you were thinking about the past? Like, did you tell him the truth, or did you keep that within? And by the way, no matter what you say to me for the answer, that will be the right thing to do. So in other words, as you know yourself as source, that, in my opinion, is when it's time to stop being hard on yourself and beating yourself up for having emotions and feelings or emotionally reacting. No, we don't beat ourselves up for that. We don't have to regret because we showed emotion, right? Whatever you did was the right thing to do in that moment. End of period. And return to your decision. I told him that I fear abandonment. Okay, so you were honest with him. You were honest. Good. Good. Now, however he responded to that, if it made you feel good, then fine. If it didn't, don't accept it as final. Because your source, you're determining. Think of it like what you choose right now in this moment is what reality will be in the future. But I'm using that word future loosely. We know that all time is now, but you get what I'm saying from the logical perspective. You're deciding it now. And you should never feel embarrassed for sharing the truth or being authentic. You told him the truth. But what I want to say to you is, okay, you expressed that, you let that out. Now you're coming back to remembering who you are, choosing again, meaning there's nothing wrong with ever authentically expressing what you're feeling, even if it's something that you feel vulnerable about. That's okay. That's not going to ruin anything. Listen, I know that there is that idea out there, like the push and pull of relationships. So I'm a little bit older, but I'm sure it's similar in all age groups. I remember feeling like I can't let him know what I'm really thinking and feeling, because then he's going to have all the power. He'll have the power in the relationship and hold that over me now that I've let my true feelings out. No, that was my own limited belief about relationships. The things I learned off of TV and movies and all that shit. So no one has really any power over you ever other than self. So don't ever feel embarrassed. I'm sorry. I know I'm really hammering that on you, but it's because don't you ever feel embarrassed for letting out what you're authentically feeling. What I want you to remember is, okay, that's how you were feeling in that moment. In that moment, you were remembering that one out of the infinite versions of you had a fear of abandonment. I'm saying that the version of you who's not afraid anymore, who doesn't expect that to happen, she's already within you too. You're already her. You're already all possible versions of yourself. But awareness expresses one at a time. So that's all. That was that moment. Come back. See what I mean? I feel like it's unattractive. I don't know. But that is exactly what I meant by how I used to be afraid to let out what I was authentically feeling, because I thought that, it would make him have power over me. It's really no different than what you're saying. I feel like if I allow him to know that I have that vulnerability, or at least a version of me does, only one out of the infinite, has that vulnerability, that's going to make me less attractive. Like I'm a needy, desperate bitch. That's a fucking story too. That's a limited belief that you learned about love relationships along your journey of life, of your human life. And that doesn't have to be true for you anymore, because you're in charge, your source. You have more options. You can actually decide that, if anything, that just made you more attractive to him because you felt confident enough in yourself to express exactly what you're authentically feeling without fear, meaning fearing to express. That might just make you look all the more attractive. Listen, you're not stuck with any belief system. They are optional. He was very sweet. I'm very happy to hear that. He went all out for our 3-year anniversary. He's being Alejandro 90% of the time. Now, I can't remember, is Alejandro the good version or the bad version? I forgot. Which version is the shitty version? But can I ever have him to be 100% exactly how I want? Or is it just, I just become okay with it? No. I mean, no, you just have to become okay with it. That's what I'm saying no to. Not the other way around. Yes, you can have the experience of him showing up exactly the way you want. Don't let anybody talk you out of that, because I'm talking from experience. Yes, you can. But remember, it has everything to do with you, not him. Right? The versions that show up, how we perceive and experience them is coming from our own conscious awareness. So that has everything to do with you. You're deciding what label to give him. But no, this is never that we have to settle for less than what we want. Hail to the no. You got to tell me which one. Wait, yes, Alejandro is the good one. Okay. Do I have to be 100% Alejandro energy? I don't know what you mean by that. What you're identifying as is what brings in the version, it brings in the Alejandro version, what you're believing about yourself, the identity. So I don't want you to feel like I have to be 100% perfect all the time, thinking and seeing him as Alejandro. And if I, mess up, that it's going to ruin everything. I don't want you thinking like that, because that's just not true. See what I mean? Like good energy for him to be 100%. So yeah, no one is expected to be 100% perfect energy all the time. That's just not sustainable. It's not at all what we are here to do. We are here to know ourselves as source, but to also experience everything about ourselves, meaning all our feelings and emotions. You're not expected to always be turned on in order to experience what you want. And by the way, you knowing yourself as a version of yourself, knowing that you are source, knowing that you are choosing to be the you that knows her worth, right? Knows what she deserves, and only interacts with the Alejandro version of her person. You can know that you are that self and still have feelings and emotions. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you feeling vulnerable when he dropped you off and you expressed yourself, that didn't have to automatically mean that you were kicked out of a good state, or that you weren't being 100% Alejandro energy. We don't have to give it that definition, right? You are more than just one perfect vibration or one perfect mood. You're more than that. I can be having a bad day and spiraling over stupid stuff, but still know who I am. I'm just feeling things. We're not our feelings and emotions, and we're not our thoughts either. Anyway, he's definitely reflecting all the good parts of my self-concept. I'm so happy for you, Sarah. Listen, you just get back to remembering who you are and who you're choosing to be. And don't you worry. Things are going to keep moving and grooving for you. Seriously. And again, happy anniversary. All right. So I know that there was another super chat or two. I did warn everybody that I'm not on my laptop, so I will do my best to get them. But normally I have my laptop set so I can directly see the super chats. I don't have that right now. Let's see. Wish fulfilled state. Where did that go? Hold on. Damn it. Okay. Kim, career movement is reflecting in 3D. Miss you. Oh, that is wonderful to hear. Wonderful. I am very happy for you. Very, very happy. This is, I hope, very encouraging to you as well. I hope it is. And I hope you're seeing that, it's not just one area that you are going to experience movement and success in. That goes for everything. So well done. I'm very happy. I don't know if you can hear them, but there are people screaming outside. Do you hear that? Like, I live in the country. So having people outside screaming is not a normal occurrence. And it's multiple people. They sounded like they were celebrating, though, so I'm sure I'm deciding it's good things. Joe, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. I am trying to read this. I am sorry. I know I said this, but I'm still having a hard time manifesting because I really don't know what I want. Watched older vids. You said we should know. We should know what? We should know what we want? Okay, I'm assuming that's what you mean. That we should know what we want. I think that's what you mean. Okay. I think it makes it easier to know exactly what you want. Yes. So if I said that in an older video, I still believe that. Does that mean you have to know specifically every single minute detail? No, I don't think so. And listen, everybody is different. Everybody has their own idea of, let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that everybody has areas in their life, right? The categories. So like in my life, my category is, I got my love category, which means romantic relationship. That's my love. I got my family. I got my financial. I got health. And we could keep going and listening, okay? So I got all those areas. Do I know what I want in every area? Yes. But does that mean that I have specific minute details? And we'll use my family category for a second. My family category, my outcome, my wish fulfilled, the who I want to be, is to know that my family members are, happy. They know that I love them and they're living their best lives. I want them all to be living their best lives and really, truly loving their life. That could be defined in so many different ways. I generally, unless they have verbalized they have a desire, well, then I might start deciding that they have that desire. But other than that, I don't know specifically. I'm going to use like my sister for, she might have specific goals. Maybe some of them she hasn't told me about. So I don't know that. I don't know what to think for her. So I just think she's happy and she loves her life. Everything's going great for her. Boom, boom, boom. Do you see what I mean? And guess what's going to happen? That's how I'm going to experience her, or how I perceive her. And things are, just for the sake of saying, on a good direction for her. But my point in that is, so don't overthink, me saying that it's good to know what you want. I have a feeling that you actually do have an idea of what you want, but you probably question it, overanalyze it, and then doubt yourself, and then question if you're really, really sure that you want this or that, and you probably get yourself all worked up over analyzing the details. So if I am right, and that is what you're trying to ask me, then what I would do is go general. Go general. Find the words that feel good to you and decide that's how you feel about whatever area that you're asking me about. Tell yourself you're fulfilled in every area of your life. So that what? So you look at it as, if we were like split into two pieces, higher self, and lower doesn't mean less important. It just means the self that's experiencing 3D reality. So higher self knows you. Higher self knows all versions of you. So higher self, which is still you, is very aware of what your dreams and desires are, what they specifically are. Lower self might not. So if you were to go general and tell yourself that you're fulfilled and, happy and full of joy in every area of your life, the higher self's got you covered. You can think of higher self as what? Source. So I hope that helps. I hope that's what you were trying to ask me. Limitless Queen Betch. I manifested a crazy BBL. This guy is almost identical to SP. SP is close, and I know he's been thinking about me. Damn right. Love you, Betch. I love you too. I'm dying to hear all the details about your BBL. He's almost identical to SP. Oh my God, I want all the details. And I agree with you in how you're perceiving that. And hell yeah, your person's thinking about you. Without a doubt. Ooh, okay, Joe, I see you. Hold on. Oh, you're saying yes, so that must mean I got your question right. We should know what we want. Okay. So I think I answered that. I look forward to it, Limitless Queen. I look forward to it. I was just watching old lives, then I was like, shit, you're live now. I love that you were. We were connected. We were connected, Paige. What exactly should you think to make your SP obsessed with you instantly? To know that is who you are right now in this moment. So what would you think? You would think, I am, fill in the blank. Use the words that feel good to you. So words that feel good to me would be, I am. I am the self that is very, very aware, very, very happy to be aware that my person's head over heels in love with me. Now. Not in the future. Now, right? 'Cause all time is now. Something as simple as that. Literally. Just as simple as that. Now, your ego may start chirping at you, as it does. No, he isn't. No, he doesn't. It's not right now. It's not happening right now. Okay, ego. I don't have to convince you. I just have to decide. Right? It's not the ego's job to convince the subconscious. If you're someone that still views, manifestation from having to change your subconscious, we don't have to convince your ego. We don't have to convince your logical, rational self. It's a nuisance to receive thoughts that are the opposite of what you want. But that doesn't mean that they have to have power and authority to present themselves in reality. Thank God for that, right? It's infinite. So make that decision right now. That's who you are. SB sent me a video of him playing Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift on the part. As soon as you wrote Cruel Summer, I was thinking of Bananarama. It's a cruel, cruel, cruel summer. All right, anyway. But I do know that song by Taylor Swift too. On the part that's like, I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? Dude, say the words. It's not like you have a choice. Damn right. Damn right. Killwell Moon, I think it's what it says. I'm sorry. How to handle back to back to back tower moments and getting further from desired reality, focusing on an end that seems too far. Okay, but you're not too far. Now, I'm very aware. Now, listen, let's just keep it real. I know the tower moments. I know that is, I'm going to say, in connection to tarot speak. I don't label my experiences like that, but there's nothing wrong that you do. I'm not trying to say that. So, because if I have a certain belief about tower moments, who's running the show? My belief and perspective about the tower moment. And again, that's depending on what you believe about tower moments. So you're not further away from the reality you want to be in. You aren't. Now, I know that Vadim Zeland from Reality Transurfing, I know, he did describe variant space as if it was in, different quadrants, and that when, let's say, you're manifesting something that seems very far away from where you are in this moment, that it could be that in variant space that it is. But as you choose who you are, it's like bringing yourself closer and closer and closer to that quadrant. I believe that we are source. Okay? Source is not limited. So nothing is too far away unless you believe it is. And back-to-back tower moments. Listen, even those moments could be exactly what is supposed to happen to allow you to see you are the version of yourself that you want to be now. And quite frankly, all experiences, good and bad, it is our ego that labels them good and bad, right? To source, which is what? The absolute unconditional love. Unconditional love. So there is no judgment on experiences. They don't get the labels. So we don't, again, take a look at what you believe about those tower moments, what that means to you, to label and experience that. And if it's not favorable, if you see those things as making it or making you feel like the life you want, the reality you want is far away, and these experiences are only how you perceive as more evidence that that's true, well, that you're a source. So what you decide to be true will be true. Your source. Whatever you've been experiencing that you label as tower moments, and again, I'm suggesting you take a look at how you define a tower moment. I personally I think you just should remember that you're source and you decide. You're not further away from where you want to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be to experience whatever your dream, your desire is. You couldn't be any closer. Your source. Your source. Really, really, really take in what that means. If you say you're in the reality that you want to be in right now, then you are. Don't let the logical part of you that may look out at reality and say, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. A million other events have to take place in order for me to have the thing I want. No, that's the logical, rational side of you dictating to you who you are, your source. And you probably, just a guess, because you have perceived like that you feel very far away, or the reality you believe you're experiencing is far away from what you want. Think of it as that's you as source deciding that for yourself, not the experiences you've had. It's you saying it. So don't decide that anymore. You're exactly where you want to be right now in this moment. And remember what I said, that you don't have to convince I was going to say the radical, but I meant rational and logical. I just created a new word. You don't have to convince that part of you. So doubtful thoughts might come in. So fearful thoughts might come in. That doesn't mean that you are actually going to be booted out of the reality that you're choosing, or out of the version of yourself that you're choosing. Your source, your word is the same authority as source, right? What's the let there be light? What's the equivalent? I am that I am. Decide who you are. Don't let experiences, circumstances tell you who that is. You decide it consciously in this moment. And even if reality looks exactly the same, it will not be the exact same reality. It will be the reality you want it to be. And I know that can be very hard to accept if our logical mind can't make sense of how that could be possible. And that's the beauty of not having to convince that side of us for it to be true. Erie, that was the cruel summer you thought of too? See, we're reflecting each other. Love it. Gemini Virgo 5555. Can I get exact job with exact salary abroad when agent told work visa is impossible? Some zhuzh, as I don't have much experience, need it by a certain day, and how to retain it once I get it as past haunts. Well, thankfully, your agent is just a version of him or herself, his or herself, your source. Your agent is not source of your reality. So kind of like what I was just saying to the previous person, that reality doesn't have to make logical sense. So your agent might be telling you the truth from their experience, from their expertise. But that doesn't mean that the logical 3D crap he's telling you is more authoritative than source. Things don't have to make sense. I feel like we've had an example here where someone was trying to get a visa and they were told, it might not have been to work somewhere. It might have had something else they wanted to do, but it was from, I forget what country, but they were trying to get a visa, and same thing, they were told it's impossible, blah, blah, blah. And I gave them kind of like the same response that I'm giving you, and they got their damn visa. And they got, I don't know where they traveled to, I forget. But I think it's on one of our old live streams. So you can look those up. I don't remember which one it is, but it's on here. It was recorded. Just like any other manifestation, like say you were manifesting money or manifesting a specific person, I know that like things like career, things like that are connected to government and government laws, government rules. I think it's just because of our conditioning, we look at those as, oh, those aren't changeable. Those are really hard to change because it's the government. You know, it's the laws. And don't get me wrong, I understand why they might feel like they're more difficult to think can change, but source is not limited by the government. Source is not limited by anything on this planet because source is source of it, right? Source created everything, and you are that, right? As a point in consciousness, you are that. So no matter what the agent tells you, you decide you got your visa and everything worked out exactly the way you wanted it to. Don't get hung up on the time, like, because you did mention that you needed it by a specific date or time. Try not to get hung up on that. Well, what if it doesn't happen? Blah, 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 blah. No, come back to who you are. Who are you? You are the version of yourself that has everything you want here, the job, the visa. That is who you are now. Don't let 3D reality tell you differently. And whatever 3D reality presents to you, even if it's the opposite, you keep returning and knowing yourself to be, I am that I am. And you'll see. You'll see. Experiences will happen that lead you to get you, literally what you want. Seriously. And listen, and that's no shade to your agent. I'm sure they're just doing their job, reciting to you their opinion, but they're not bigger and badder than source. Nothing and no one is. You doubt your skills also as I don't have much experience. Is that who you want to be? The version of you who doesn't feel good enough? Doesn't think that, oh, I don't have enough experience, so I'm probably not going to be very good. Is that what you want in your life? No. No. You decide that you are the self you want to be. That's the ego. That's the ego chirping at you. To me, all that says is, okay, so you have been a version of yourself that didn't feel good enough. And that could be in, relation to anything in your life. To me, that's just the evidence of an old version of yourself. So in other words, what I mean by that is no big deal. Choose again. You're going to be perfect for the job. Whatever it is, you're going to be perfect. Whatever experience you do have is enough. Listen, you're already the version of yourself who is perfect for the job, right? That already exists because creation is finished. So in the moment that you're hearing the ego throw that thought at you, and maybe you've been having like, an emotional response to it. And I don't even mean crying. I'm just saying it. You get that ick feeling when the thought comes in. All that is what? Okay, it's one out of the infinite possibilities. But at every given moment, you are all versions of yourself. But awareness is kind of like shining that flashlight on one at a time. That's why you might hear me say, so choose again. Return to your decision. Who are you? Who are you? outside of source, who are you? You're not limited. We might feel like it in this physical meat sack, but we're not. I feel I am audacious to go after where'd it go? To go after something only because I know manifestation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have considered it. I think that the fact that you're going after something that an old version of you would have been too afraid to do or would have given up on it, and you're not giving up now, I think that is amazing. Amazing. There's nothing we cannot be, do, and have. Nothing. A curly connoisseur, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm God of my reality. Period. Damn right. I'm just looking. Ziomara, did you change your username? So now it's Ziomara is outside. For an instant, I'm like, we have another Ziomara. I'm like, no, we don't. You are welcome, Gemini Virgo. Hold on, make sure I feel like I didn't skip anybody, right? Nope. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Wish fulfilled state. Thank you very much. Someone removed my wait, what? Someone removed my comment. Boss said my idea is the kind the managing partners love. In January, we start how to best translate with SP from afar. I am, my God, all this is telling me that, well, I need new glasses. That's all I'm going to say. How to best translate with SP from afar. I am so night and day from old self, feeling the feels. Oh, feeling he feels it too. Good Lord, that was difficult. What do you mean by translate? Do you mean the fact that you're experiencing movement and success in your career department? And do you mean like so that it translate over to SP? That's all within your own I amness. So you see yourself as being, outside of the fact that you're source. You are source. So everything must be what you claim it to be. I am that I am. So don't look at it as I'm only experiencing good stuff in the work area. No. I am night and day from my old self. I am comfortably knowing that I am the self. Obviously, you don't have to use all the words I'm using, but I am the self who's experiencing fulfillment, success, happiness in every area of my life. I've never loved my life better or more. It's surreal how much every area in my life is changing and becoming exactly what I want it to be. It's just knowing yourself to be. Don't rely, and this goes for everybody, don't rely on what you're experiencing in 3D reality. Don't feel because maybe you're not experiencing something in every area of your life, like I just said. That doesn't mean that movement isn't happening. Now, granted, I know we've all heard that before, right? There's always movement. There's always movement. But it's true. We might not logically recognize any movement, but that key word is, right? That logical, rational part of us might not. But that doesn't mean things aren't happening. Things happen exactly the way they are supposed to. And you, as source, are choosing where you are. So see it as that you're noticing, you're seeing how everything is moving in your life, that you are in the fulfillment of being that self. Boom. Yes, please. Got it. Good. Kimberly, my love, I am 19, manifesting my 27-year-old celebrity. Okay? God, 19. 19. Do you know how long it's been since I was 19? Well, technically all time is now, so just saying, but a long time. I'm so glad that at 19 years old that you are aware of conscious manifestation. You are going to have the most amazing life. Please, I'm conveying to you, don't ever forget that you are consciously choosing who you are. Please, your life is going to be amazing. That's all I'm going to say. And as far as age goes, I mean, unless you were trying to tell me something else by letting me know that your person is 27, I really don't think age matters. Age differences matter. I don't. I mean, you get what I'm saying. There's plenty of people, you know, what am I? I'm 51. I know 51-year-olds who are married to 60 and plus years old. Love is love, man. Love is love. That's what I mean. I can feel it internally washing over me. Let's reconnect soon. That's the momentum right there. Damn right it is. Damn right it is. I'm trying to, is that fucking Titch Key? Titch Key! Oh my God! How have you been, my friend? Titch Key is an OG to this channel, okay? You go back through my old live streams, you will hear me call out to Titch Key. I hope you are doing wonderful. All right, I'm going to read your comment. I'm trying to help a friend with her SP, and she's been practicing observing and awareness of I am, but is struggling when the old version of her flares up emotionally. Any advice on what to say? All right, hold on. Trying to help a friend with her SP, and she's been practicing observing and awareness of I am, good, but is struggling when the old version of her flares up emotionally. So, does she have contact with her specific person so that when she's maybe seeing the old version of him, or let's just say a story with him shows up, or is she just in no contact but is manifesting her SP? Because as far as, you didn't expect me to remember you? How could you think I could forget Titch Key? That's a name I will never forget. I think I told you, I'm sure it's in a live stream where the first few times that I saw any comments from you, just Titch Key. And that's, I would say your name loud like that anyway. You know, I'm a weird bitch. Okay, yes, she does. And when she's around him, it's like she reverts. Okay, don't you dare ever change it. Don't you dare. Okay, I just wanted to know, the only reason why I asked that is because I think my response would be a little different if she was in contact or no contact, just because, again, this is just my perspective, that it can feel more difficult. It's not that it's more difficult, but it can feel like it's more difficult when you do have contact with your specific person, because like what's bugging her is when they do show up and old story stuff is still there, if they're not changed yet, if they're still showing up as their old self, it is so easy to revert back to an old version of ourselves. And all that is habitual, right? Habitual responding, habitual thinking, habitual choosing a particular version of ourselves when we're not aware that we're choosing ourselves. But you already got her in the right place as far as having her observe herself and know herself as I am. That's perfection right there. So I would tell her that knowing yourself as source is freeing. Is freeing. It's freeing her from being attached to stories. It's freeing her from being attached to her old self. Now, if she is already already aware that she notices it herself when she falls back into old thinking, and I'm going to assume that she is, like, she knows. Yeah, wait, for sure. When she goes weeks without speaking to him, she in God mode and smashing it. The second she's in the same room with him, she's back to the old version. He may not even do anything bad, but she'll still revert. Okay. So I'm hoping that she is very aware that she does that she goes right back to old thinking when she's around him. Being aware of doing that is a wonderful starting place, right? Because there are some people who don't notice that they go back to old thinking. In fact, they just get themselves just so totally reattached to 3D reality that they just lose their sense of self. So her being aware that she does that is a wonderful starting spot. So I would encourage her by telling her that. But tell her, again, this is just an idea. I don't want her like you have to do this to manifest. That's not what I'm about to say. Tell her to start looking at moments that she's with him as challenges or like tests until she gets herself through a moment without reverting back. As like it's a challenge. Like, I challenge you to see your specific person and stay aware the whole interaction. So that means telling her that the moment she notices that the old shit thinking is coming, that she comes back to observer, like a challenge to get through the whole interaction with trying to come back to center, to coming back to observer, even while she's talking with him. And yes, you can have a conversation with someone and still be in here and being aware as the observer. Yes, you can. So she can do it, and tell her, I'm not saying that if she gets through this one moment, everything's going to be wonderful and now she's a master manifester. I'm not saying that. This is just a challenge to show her that she can stay aware, that she has a choice over who she is. To see, to notice how the mind, the ego mind, is throwing thoughts from the old pattern at her, and that reward herself that she stays aware through it. And once she gets through at least one moment, you could tell her that it's only going to get better. It's only going to get easier. And with that, the more changes within him that she's going to experience. Because anything going on between her and her specific person, it's not because her specific person doesn't want to have a relationship with her or love her forever and ever. It's not that. It's her reverting back that keeps her in that same pattern of experiencing what she doesn't want over and over and over and over. So it's a challenge. Challenge herself. Tell her, I dare her. I dare you to stay as the observer, to stay aware. Or like Vadim Zeland would say, the keeper. Stay as the keeper. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself into, the old identity. See if you can get through that moment. And I'm telling you, I think that she's going to feel really encouraged after that. And you tell her it's just going to get easier and easier. And watch how things change. And they will. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Linda. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm trying to give you a heart there. There you go. That's actually a great idea, Kim. Thank you so much. I'll try that because she's really competitive. See? Good. Light the fire under her ass. That's the thing. If you can get yourself through one experience, staying aware while you're interacting with your person, you're gonna see that what I'm telling you is gonna work. But even I had to experience doing it. In fact, I had to experience doing it more than once to feel really encouraged that I could do it, that I was strong enough to do it. Because I mentioned this in I don't know if I said it, and we had the exclusive lives, which is usually on Tuesday night, the channel membership. We had it on Saturday morning this week because I had to reschedule. So I don't know if I said it in that group or if I said it in the hot seat, but when I was going through my whole, September of 2022 hell, I call it hell, but listen, my life only got a million times better once I was out of that. But my point is, not only was I feel really expanding or rising in consciousness, expanding my awareness, I was also learning to be able to trust myself again, because I would remember, having interactions with SP throughout time. And this, any SP, I'm saying anybody that I dated in the past, I was thinking about all of that, included that. I would think I was gonna, stay strong when I would see, my person. And then I would give in to my old habits, my old thinking, and then come home after and be mad at myself because I would get myself right back into a spiral. And me telling you that is because I could see that even when I didn't know about conscious manifestation, I had that pattern of not being able to trust that I can stick to a decision within myself, at least in my love category. And I wanted that to change. I even to this day, I don't like being attached to reality. And obviously, knowing yourself is source. I feel like when you're really aware of being source, you don't get yourself attached to reality anymore. Hence my September of 2022, blah, blah, blah. So I looked at that time period as the challenge to myself that I could see my person without losing myself, forgetting who I am. You know what I mean? When you get around the person that you want a romantic relationship with, do you still stay aware? And I would say my habits before September of 2022, I could see there were times where I would lose myself. So I was adamant about, I don't want to lose that. Now, I believe the awakening to your own I amness, right? That you are source. I think that has an amazing impact on that. So I don't want to take away from that. But I never wanted to go back to my old self, to who I used to be. So like what your friend is experiencing, reverting back to her old self, I was adamant about not allowing that. Number one, because it doesn't bring the results you want. Or at least not me. Going back to old habits and behaviors, I would frustrate the hell out of me. And, I started seeing things as a challenge. Can I get through this moment? Can I get through this? Can I stay fully awake, aware? And I'm telling you, after a few times getting yourself through it, It just gets easier and easier and easier. I'm not trying to say you're never going to have a bad day ever again in your life. I'm not saying that. We're here to have feelings and emotions, and we're going to, and that doesn't make us bad. So yes, I've had all sorts of feelings and emotions over the last 3 or 4 years, but once you are fully aware of being source, you don't go back. You don't. So tell her what I said. Challenge her ass. Things will get better. Are we having hot seat on Friday as usual? Yes. How did you understand what being source means? Well, I would tell you that before September of 2022, I would have said it like it. I knew it intellectually. And my main focal point before September of 2022, I can't say it fast enough, and I'm trying to say a million words, so they're coming out all jumbled. I was very heavily focused on embodying of a state. I don't know how to explain my experiences after September of 2022, but I don't want to say that that was an awakening, because I felt awake, but something changed. A knowing that I know beyond intellectually, I experienced. An undeniable knowing. I don't know what other words to use. I can't express the life-changing. So how to know it? Every single one of us already does. But think of it as it's asleep. Not that God's asleep, but you letting that part of you fully come into the connection with it. But don't misunderstand my wording as like you're separate from it, because you're not. You're not. And you're going to have your own knowing that you just know moment for yourself. And that might mean just simply you sitting down watching a live stream, and boom, a little download, a little light bulb goes off, and you like, oh my God, I get it. See what I mean? It might be that. So I don't want anybody to feel that, well, you have to have some wonderful elevation type of ascension moment to really know that you're God. I'm not saying that. So please don't, because I don't want anybody to walk away feeling, oh my God, well, I haven't had a moment like that, so maybe I really don't know. Maybe I'm not really. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But I don't know. That was my experience, and I haven't looked back. But as I said, it doesn't mean that I feel perfect 24/7. I have days. I can get irritated, annoyed. I can still experience feelings and emotions. It just doesn't last like it would before that knowing happened for me. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. That's how I feel now. I understand it on the intellectual level, but I don't feel that yet. See, that's why I go out of my way to say that maybe, you haven't had some amazing moment, some holier than thou moment. That doesn't mean that you don't know. It doesn't mean that you are not I am right now. My advice again, this is just for no other reason than to help you see past knowing just intellectually, is observing the observer. Practicing observing the mind, quieting the mind. Not forcing yourself to think anything specifically, just quieting the mind. And again, to anybody else that's just listening, I feel like I got to give the disclaimers. I'm not saying that that's the only way you can know yourself as God. I don't mean that. But I can tell you that at that time in September, I was doing a lot of that. Because I had shut myself off as much as possible to the 3D. And I mean that like literally. I wasn't talking to a lot of people in September, as far as like I warned my friends, hey, you're not going to hear from me. I'm going through it. I'm not going to be available, blah, 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 blah. So that I could just focus on me and self and my own mind. And I was doing a lot of that, quieting the mind as best as possible. You know, don't get me wrong, September of 2022 sucked absolute tits. I was emotional, like off the charts, emotional, spiraling, tears, all the things. But I can tell you, looking back now, yes, what I was doing a lot of shutting the shit out and trying to just focus on being the observer, observing the observer, or like I said earlier, like Vadim Zeland said, the keeper of the mind, focusing on just self, just observer. And that knowing came, knowing that you know that you know. That's the only way I can describe it. But that doesn't mean that how you feel right now is any less than a source than me or anybody else you see in a damn video. You are just as much at source, or I am just like everybody else. No one is better at this or better connected to God than anybody else ever. And you might not feel any different. That's still you as source. And I do think that a lot of people misunderstand all of this stuff to think that there's a hierarchy of connection and consciousness. And that's just simply not true. How you feel. Now, listen, I'm not talking about like literally being upset over specific circumstances. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying the essence of who you are. That's source. That's I am too. So how you feel is source. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Your source now. Will you continue to get downloads and, I don't know, like more understanding of what all of this shit is, consciousness? Yeah, but that's happening for everyone. So it's not like you're like in line or in waiting for your turn. It's not, I don't want you to think of it like that. Your source now, right now. How you feel, like how you know yourself to be observer is source. That's what source feels like. I think that we also get these ideas of, I probably wouldn't feel this way if I knew I was really source. No. You are always I am. Always. So good and bad feelings, remember, that's ego labeling things as good and bad. Your source. You never stop being source. Here I am with my little rant again, but I'm going to say it. This is why I don't talk about this stuff, like your God versus the character, because that implies separation. That's only more confusing. You're never just the character. You're always source. You're always God. I am. Always. Always. Please, always. You're having a bad day? It's not just you as character. Oh, that's just me and my character. God didn't leave the building. Source didn't leave so that you can go into character mode. No, you're still God. So, anybody out there that feels like I don't think I know myself as source good enough, or there's no way God would feel like the way I feel, so I don't have that connection yet. I'm telling you that's not true. It's not true. And you're not any less intellectual. You're not any less in this, this fake hierarchy of who's better at this than the next person. Because I call it fake for a reason, because we're all equals here. We're all equals. All of us. I don't care if someone's got 10 million subscribers. They are not better at any of this than you are. And they're not closer to God or have a better connection with I am than you. Your source. Period. End of. Sorry, I know. I went on a rant. It's like I can stand outside of myself and see a bazillion times clearer. Yes, wish fulfilled state. That is observing. That is observing the observer. The visual that I have, let's just for 1 minute, let's like role play. Well, I don't think it's role playing. Bad choice of words. Let's say that I'm having a circumstance right now. Right now, while we're on this live stream. Let's pretend there's a circumstance. It's bugging me. We're going to pretend. What comes into my mind when the 3D is not what I want? The picture I get, and you don't have to get the same picture, but it's just my way of explaining what it looks like to me up here. It's like I see a big bubble, and that's my reality bubble, right? Because you are reality. It's like there's the essence of me, and I walk out of the bubble. So I am outside of the bubble looking at my life from a distance as if I'm separated from it. I'm really not separated. I'm really not, right? There is no separation. But that's what the bubble looks like to me. I'm outside of it, and I can view my life from afar. Why do I bother even doing that, giving into that? Because that helps me. That's the visual that helps me look at 3D reality circumstances as if I'm looking down on them, so that I see the bigger picture. Now, granted, we don't always see the bigger picture. We don't always see. I'm not trying to say that I suddenly have the full view, but what it helps me see is, ooh, I can see the entanglement I might have to this. So again, we're pretending that I have a circumstance. Separating myself outside of my reality bubble helps me see clearer than maybe I wasn't seeing 5 minutes ago, where my emotions and feelings would have been all tied up in the circumstance. This little visual of me stepping out helps me see, oh God, I can see why. Why am I getting so emotional over this circumstance? I can see it. I can see it clearly. Oh, okay. That's a belief. That's, I don't know, a belief based off of a circumstance that happened, 10 years ago, an old relationship, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. I'm not really upset about this thing. It's my ego conjuring up a story to keep me attached so that I do an old pattern to protect myself, to protect my heart, to protect this, to protect that. That's all it is. I'm not really upset about the specific circumstance. No, this is me trying to prevent myself from getting my heart hurt or whatever. It could be any circumstance, could be any area in your life too. That's all it ever is a story. Everything is, right? I'm saying that when we don't feel good, we have, anxiety and things like that. And if things in reality are bothering us, it's always because there's an entanglement with a story. And the more time that you practice observing, and me saying, the more you practice observing, I don't want you to hear that and think that's the only way to manifest. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the more time you allow yourself to observe, well, number one, I believe you will probably have, and this goes for everybody, I'm not just specifically at wish fulfilled state, that the knowing that you know that you are source, you'll probably have a moment. Again, this is just my opinion. But the more you practice observing the observer, the less entangled with 3D and 3D circumstances, and the less entangled to one version of yourself that you will feel. And it will get easier and easier and easier. And I look at that as coming home to your true self. I am. So, wow, we have gone all over the place today, haven't we? Where have you been? I know you're busy, but I miss your daily videos, you sweet human. Katie, I just love you, and I thank you. And I know my daily videos have been absentee. I do apologize, and I actually thought I was going to get back on schedule already and get back, because I know I said it already. I think I said it in a live stream, or maybe one of the channel memberships. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, all different things. I don't know where I've said this or where I've said that. My intention is to come back to daily uploads. It is. The moving in of itself really fucked with my schedule. Really fucked with it. And I don't know if you've ever had a large move. The overwhelm, the unboxing has taken up a lot of my time. But this is not permanent. It is not the whole me not uploading daily. That is not permanent. This is a temporary thing. So, just saying. But I cannot express to you how much that makes me feel so nice that you've noticed my absence. Okay? That makes me feel nice. You love me. You really, really love me. I think that's what Marilyn Monroe said. Something like that. But thank you for asking, number one. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, no. They are coming back. Daily uploads are coming back. I've said it before. YouTube's my home. This is where I started. I love YouTube. But if you are on TikTok, I've been doing lots of live streams over there, just so you know. So I will also, if you can't come over to TikTok, but for whatever reason, I will be uploading those lives over to YouTube, as I always do. Will you do a video on your other channel of your new home? Oh, yes. Yes. I have so much content recorded for that other channel that I think I'm going to have to do like one big video of 2024 and just upload in one big long ass video of just the remaining content that I had recorded over there, because I don't want to just delete it. But if I was to put it up into individual videos like I originally recorded it for, oh my God, it's going to be another year before we catch up to 2025, and we're in October. So I think I'm going to do something like that. And I even vlogged some of the moving itself. I still have the Salem mini vacation to put up. See what I'm saying? So, long story short, I will be doing those types of videos over there. Yes, and you will, like I do on the other, oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Just like I would bring you around my old house, and do the same thing in this place. Oh, most definitely have missed you. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so nice. Thank you so much. Dazzling chick. I love you, my friend. I think I said it to you before, but if I haven't, like, you got the prettiest handwriting. You have the most eloquent, fancy, definitely nowhere near my handwriting. Just, you could do it for a profession, right? What do they do with the like calligraphy pens? You would be a master at that. Lala, thank you very much. How do I move with evictions and not employed long? Okay, how do I move with evictions? Are you trying to prevent yourself from being evicted, or are you searching for a new place and think your previous evictions are going to get in the way of you moving? I'm going to give you a second to answer that question before I fully answer you. Kim, do you still have your P.O. box and do you still check it? Yes. Yes, I do. That's not changing because I drive back home every Wednesday. I call it my back home because that's where I grew up. I drive back there every single Wednesday because I still go to see my old neighbors. Don't laugh at me. But I love their dog, so I go every Wednesday. I go back to their place so I can see their dog. I love animals. So yeah. And though I kind of call that me the checking in on everybody, like the rest of my family. I come and do a drive around. Some of them don't even know I do it, but I do a drive around. I do drive-bys. Make sure everything's going okay with them. And I'm not going to say what time I do in case they're watching this live stream, because just saying, let's make sure things are going okay with the family. And that's when I go pick up my mail from there. So yes, every Wednesday. Listen, you know how you encourage all of us. It does make me feel amazing. But you know what it is, Rhonda, is I see it as we are all a community of friends. We're all friends, encouraging each other. You guys are my social life. I mean, no offense to my boyfriend. He's my social life, but you get what I'm saying. This is me going out. This is it. Chilling with you guys, which I like, by the way. Looking forward to the uploads of Salem and the move. Of course, you are Miss Kim. Thank you, Lavender Lysol. I look forward to it, Keisha. Did did they answer my question? Lala, there we are. Searching with previous evictions on my credit. Okay. So, I don't know if you were here earlier when I answered the question about, the person who needed a visa. If you weren't, let me just say this. From a logical, literal standpoint, I understand why you might be concerned that they will see your previous evictions. I get it. This is no different than somebody worrying about their credit score being a problem. I don't know, like to get a loan, to get a credit card, I don't know. What else? What do they check your credit for? Whatever they check your shit for. All of those things, yes, are very 3D common things we hear. Like, oh, you want to move to a new place? Well, they're going to do a background check. They're going to check your credit history. They're going to see if you've had previous evictions, blah, 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 blah. All of those things are not more powerful or hold more authority than source. So if there was a checklist of shit that has to be checked in order for you to get your new place, those things don't have more authority than source. So if I were you, I wouldn't even put my focus on I'm going to stop them from seeing my previous evictions. I wouldn't even go there. I would focus on having the place, as seeing yourself as being the self that has your new place. So if there's a specific like apartment, house, townhouse, whatever that you're going for, identify as already having it. And try not to get too logical on, you know, let's say you have to fill out an application, like a rental or lease or whatever application. Don't get all, you know, logical and wrapped up in, oh my God, now they're going to check. No, you have no idea what can happen. You don't know if maybe you're filling out, you know, the application to get into the new place, and maybe the person who's doing all the stuff with the paperwork to approve or disapprove, that person could actually be a lazy bitch who doesn't bother checking to see if you have previous evictions and just sends it through. Think about it. Even in the 3D, don't we all know someone, maybe at, you know, where you work, where you went to school, maybe one of your own family members, that you know their lazy ass does not do what they're supposed to do at work? They take the shortcuts and they skip through shit. And it's just a matter of time before they get caught with that stuff. But that's 3D, right? Like I know there were plenty of coworkers that I knew in my last job who skipped over shit, did whatever they wanted. Oh, wait, that was me. I'm not kidding. But would just take the shortcuts to get shit done, get the work off their desk. You don't know that. That could be the person who's taking the paperwork. Not only that, you think that there's never glitches in computer systems where it just so happens they don't see all your previous history and everything looks fine. Listen, I don't know if you've ever checked, but we have 3 credit bureaus. Okay, I don't know what it's like in other countries. I don't know if other countries do credit bureau shit like we do, but there's 3 of them, and goddamn, they never have the same numbers. Right? There's different credit scores at all 3 places, but yet they're supposed to be checking the same damn things, but they all come up with their own crazy number. That's why you shouldn't feel limited by your credit score. Not every human does their job exactly the way they're supposed to. And I know that might sound like I'm being negative, but I don't even mean it in a negative way. I'm just saying that no one is perfect, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't even focus on the how you're going to get the apartment or the house. Don't go there. That's not your job. Don't you worry. Source takes care of that, and you are that source. So see yourself as already having it, already living there. So, and the next part is, well, how am I going to do it if I don't have a job? What, is having a job the only place to get money? Is that the only place? Or is that the only logical place that your mind can come up with on how I'm going to be able to pay? Don't go there. Go to the outcome. Your rent is always paid. Your rent is always paid. You always, if you are manifesting money, there's always more than enough money for you. There's always more than enough. You're in overflow. There's always enough and more. You have so much money, you don't know what to do with it all. You don't have to stress paying rent. See what I mean? Sometimes places say they are going to check credit, eviction records, but they only actually check if the person seems suspicious or whatever. A lot of times they don't even look. Thank you, J. Cole, for coming in and giving that encouragement. See? See? Don't stress it. Listen, think about it, guys. Whenever you're thinking about what you're manifesting, and if you're feeling like anxiety over it, be real with yourself. What are you feeling what are you really thinking about when you're feeling that anxiety? Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are some people who just have anxiety and aren't really thinking about anything. Okay, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about any of you who feel all worked up or in the middle of doubting their manifestation. What are you usually focused on when you feel that way? Something to do with the how. Something to do with 3D reality. Think about it. I'm telling you every single time. Every single time. Or at least 99% of the time, you're thinking about something to do with how it's going to happen. Or thinking about how all of these other steps have to happen before it can manifest. No, that's not our friggin' job. That's not for us to concern ourselves with. Our concern is who we are. Period. Everything else is taken care of. So can you imagine the time that we spend thinking about the shit that was never for us to figure out if we instead was using that time to just know ourselves as source and to go live our lives, knowing that everything is okay and everything is happening to our benefit? Can you imagine how probably quicker things would be happening for you all? I'm just saying. Manifestation cured my severe anxiety. Mic drop. I've sent my song to a famous producer and give him money. I didn't hear back from him. I didn't hear back from here, and he didn't send me the material. I'm scared to get robbed. What do I do? Okay, you sent your song to a famous producer and you gave him money. Is that normal that you have to give money to send your music to somebody? Is that how the music business works? Because that's kind of grimy. Taking your money. Anyway, all right. Well, your source. Your source. So, although, listen, I feel for you. I feel for you. That, I mean, like that your mind is going to the place like, oh, I don't want to get robbed. I don't want to get screwed over here. And I don't want them to steal my music. Okay, so let's not go there. Let's go to what is the outcome you're looking for? What's the ultimate outcome? To be a famous singer? Or is it just you're a singer or your band member? He said he will mix master. I need him to send back the material mixed and mastered. Then that is who you are. That's who you are. He did it. It's done. And you have it. You have what you want. That's who you are. See yourself as being that version of yourself, trying your best to not get lost in the details of the things you're afraid of. Because that's just the ego. Come back to I am that I am. Yes, to be a famous singer. Okay. So, he is a Grammy producer. That's why I trusted him. Okay. First of all, can I just say, let's just, keep it real. Grammy award-winning people are not more important than each one of us, okay? I'm just saying. And they are not higher up on pedestals than any of us are. So let's not put him up on a pedestal, and let's just make the assumption right now that he keeps his word and everything works out exactly the way you want it to, and you are now what? A famous singer. You are well known. Everyone loves your music. That is who you are. Everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Let's decide that right now and not get lost in the details out here. Best way to copyright your stuff is to send yourself a copy through the mail that you never open. The mail stamp time is an easy way to copyright. I did not know that. Don't you have to submit your own music to even win a Grammy? There, no one. Visualize you are famous. Damn right. Exactly. Look at how Justin Bieber got his start. He was uploading to YouTube. I did not know that. Is that really what happened with Justin Bieber? He was a YouTuber? Where the hell have I been that I didn't know that? I did not know that. Listen, in all seriousness, I am Cruise official. Look at your YouTube username. I am Cruise official. Isn't that what most like celebrities, I know not every single one of them, but a lot of them have that in their username, official. Look at, you're already prepared. You're already that version of yourself. So you just concern yourself with that, with knowing you are source and identifying as, you know, as a famous singer, a famous musician, worldwide famous musician. Everybody loves your music. Everybody wants to see you in concert. Everybody loves you. That's who you are. I just got excited for you. So listen, it's true. So I don't have to do any actions to be a famous singer. I saw him as the only way for me to be famous. Okay, let me just snap, crackle, pop your ass on that. No, he is not the only way for you to be famous. Now, he might be a part of the unfolding of you being that version of yourself right now. He might be. But he has no power and authority to cock block you from being a famous singer. He has no power. Doesn't matter. I don't care how many accolades he has. I don't care. Nothing is bigger and better than Source. Nothing. And that is who you are. So no, the pathway to you being famous is knowing who you are as Source. Everything else will be taken care of. But no one on the outside, no one in 3D reality holds that power like dangling it over you. Hell to the no to that. Oh, I gotta be honest. I think there's a lot of people who, people who want to be famous singers, famous, like bands, all different genres of music, actors and actresses. I do feel like they think they got to get that one Hollywood connection. And then that puts all the power into the hands of people outside of themselves. And that's why in my opinion, why doesn't it sound like fucking Hollywood, the celebrity world is kind of falling apart? You see it every day. We have another, news article or something popping up on the YouTube drama stations talking about another celebrity losing their shit, coming out. And I mean, coming out as in, they got ripped off. They got, they were did wrong, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff with, God, what's his name? Damn it. What's his name? Damn it. I forgot, me forgetting names. Things happening in Hollywood that aren't good. That friggin' Blake Lively biatch. The sneaky shit. Ugh. But you see it every day. There's something. It's because nobody outside of you holds power. Nobody can prevent you from being the star you're meant to be. If you have an inner desire to be a famous, loved and adored singer, the only way to that happening is you knowing yourself as that right now. So you never have to worry about the Hollywood path or whoever holds, I don't know, the power in the music land. You don't have to worry about any of them. They can't stop you from becoming famous, well-known, loved and adored, popular, having world tours. No one can stop that from happening. Not if you are knowing yourself to be that version of yourself. You mark my words on this. Save this live stream and come back and tell me I was damn well right, because I am. No one on the outside has power and authority over you. And no one on the outside can prevent you from experiencing your desires. Nothing can stop I am. Diddy. Yes, it was Diddy. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. And, it wasn't just Diddy, though. There is other people that we've been finding out about. Just saying. The world of celebrity is a changing, don't you think? Then again, you got to think, my old self was a big old conspiracy theorist. I still like talking about conspiracy theories, but I'm very aware that I'm going to keep hearing them because I am what? I am the version of self that likes conspiracy theories. So of course they're going to keep showing up. Think about how many stories we have heard about someone being discovered outside of the Hollywood circle. Boom. Yes. Look at the Epstein files. Yeah, there's all sorts of craziness. I love conspiracy theories too. Me too. Me too. Oh, I could go on and on and on about them. The part that I'm loving about how the world of celebrity is changing in one respect is I feel that anybody who was done wrong, anybody that was done wrong, I am such a, I want to stick up for the people that got taken advantage of, got hurt, or their careers were ruined because of some jerk Hollywood mogul out there. I want to see them get their what's the word? Their justice. I want them to have it. I want them to have the life they've always wanted. I think that's why I get so passionate about that Justin, or what's his name? Is Justin Baldoni? Justin Baldoni? Baldoni. And the Blake Lively thing. She thought she was going to take that shit away from him. Hell to the no. But anyway, sorry. It's got nothing to do with about manifestation. You see the connections and who is authentic. Yes, you do. I mean, my SP found me without looking. There you go. Everything's coming out. Yep. My SP thinks the world is flat. Okay. I always say it is if you believe it. Well, you're not lying there. It's going to be whatever he believes in his reality. Bless him. Hey, Kim, I know this is so off topic, but I love that you're asking me this. But what are your favorite winter perfumes? Well, I have a couple. Okay. Because if you didn't know, I'm a smell me good girl. What the fuck is smell me good? Smell me goods are anything that smell good, that are like perfumes, body sprays, lotions, but also candles, wax tarts or the wax cubes. They're all smell me goods, and I love them. And I have a collection. It's my favorite winter. I am still very much attached to the oldie, but still goodie is Victor and Rolf's Flower Bomb, the original. It is still, but I love the intense as well. And I have all the other concoctions, all the other variations, but that one. I still love the regular old black opium, which if you only did a light squirt of it, you could wear in the spring and summer, in my opinion. I love Chanel, Coco Mademoiselle. I call that a wintry one because it's crispy. There's a crispiness to it. Don't laugh at me. There's others that I like. I'm looking at my collection. I love Joe Malone's Pomegranate Noir for winter. Tom Ford's Black Orchid. I'm forgetting some. I know I am. I don't know. I know there's others that are just not coming to me right now. What are yours? What are your favorite winter scents? I love that you asked me this on a manifestation live stream. Ooh, Kim, try black opium over red. Red, what do you mean? What's red? What do you mean by red? Oh, Miss Kim, you have the same taste in perfumes like my mom. Love you. Oh my God, I love hearing that. not gonna lie, I'm still unpacking a lot of my perfumes too. I like that that Prada Paradox. You know, if you go too heavy with that one, that'd be too much for the spring and summer, I think. So I could call that a fall winter scent. It's the name. Oh, it's literally called Black Opium Over Red. See, there's a variation that I did not know they had because I thought I owned all the variations, so I clearly don't. Thank you for telling me. I thought I just thought of one. Hold on. One just came to my mind. Damn it, I forgot it. Sorry. Thank you for answering about the scents. I'm uploading some to my store as we speak. Ooh, you got a store? I have been meaning to. Anybody that's an HBIC, in other words, a subscriber to my channel is an HBIC. I was going to do a post with any HBICs. If you've got your own businesses, and I have Keisha on the front of my mind because I know Keisha's got some businesses going on of her own now. But I was going to put a post up with everybody's, you know, if you want, and you don't have to do this, but if, like, let's say you have a perfume business, which I want to know all about it because I love perfumes. I will do a post where we're putting like all the HBIC, I don't know, I guess we could call it marketplace, except you're not shopping from the post. You're going to click and go to that HBIC's place and go buy from them, and I'll just supply the link. So we have a little community post. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I've been thinking of getting the new vanilla rare one. I am a vanilla girl. Oh, listen, I'm a vanilla girl too. I am all smell me goods. I like it all. Okay? I like it all. Marshmallow scents, cotton candy scents, vanilla scents. Okay? You name it. I do like patchouli scents. Not too heavy. My God, there was a boss at my old job that used to, I swear, swim in patchouli. And he was borderline making me about to hate it. Because that's how much of it he wore. Like heavy, obnoxious. Like I would have to stand back to talk to him. Because it was so heavy. You could smell his ass from a mile away. That's how I knew he was in at work. Because I'd get the whiff of patchouli. And I was always right. You know what I mean? Anyway. Does Burberry smell good? Which one? I have I think it's the Burberry London, and I love it. I would call that a fall winter fragrance. Burberry London. The one that's got the Burberry flannel piece around the bottle. Literally the flannel piece. You like all but vanilla. I love that we're talking about this here. I'm going to tell you right now, don't. Now, I will say that this perfume does not last long at all, which is not good. But I am obsessed with it. I think it smells so pretty. It is a spring and summer scent, though, and that is Ariana Grande's God is a Woman. I love it. It's more of a pear scent, not heavy on the pear. It's light. There's a freshness to it, but not like a cotton scent. It's not that. When I say fresh, I don't mean that. But I like it. And I don't think it has some bad reviews, and I don't know why. It smells so fucking good. But it doesn't last for shit, so you're going to have to carry the bottle around with you and give yourself a squirt, blah, 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 which is what I do when I wear it because I love it. It smells so fucking good. And maybe it just smells good on my skin because, you know, we all have our own pheromones and scents smell different on everybody, so I'm aware of that. But that's one of my favorites. Baccarat Rouge 540. The X-Straight is my favorite. But I love regular Baccarat Rouge 540 too. I own both. But the X-Straight, she's my bitch. I love her very much. Just saying. Britney's Fantasy and Midnight Fantasy is to die for. What was Britney's first perfume? What was the first one? Curious? I feel like Britney's Curious was her first release back in the early 2000s when I was still young and, you know, snatched. Okay. I would rock that shit. I loved it. Ariana Grande's God is a woman, I would say, is a sister to Curious. They're not identical, they're sisters. I've never smelled Apple Juice by Zara. I have never smelled that. Carolina Herrera, Good Girl, is my all-time favorite. Is it? I have a couple samples of that one. I don't have a big bottle. I hope everybody here, we got 104 people here. I hope you don't mind that this is spawned off into perfume talk. We can still bring it back to manifestation, but I love perfumes, so this is fun to me. It's cheap, so you can try it. Yeah, I don't care how much perfumes are. I will try them, right? I'm meaning, I don't judge them. I don't judge it. If it fucking smells good, I'm going to wear it. I don't care where it came from. Well, you know what I mean? I don't care. Rhubarb by Hermes. My aunt loves that. I like Twilly by Hermes. I like that. Further, I'm probably saying it wrong, but the Terry, I think it's called Terry, the Eau de Parfum, but for men. I love that. I love that. And I'm getting that for my SP for Christmas. Don't y'all put that in my comments anywhere. Don't ruin it, because he doesn't know. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Yes, that is another good one. That is a good one. I actually threw a bottle out of it before we moved, only because the bottle was so old. I didn't think it smelled the same anymore, but I just haven't replaced it yet, but I intend to, because I like that one too. Coco Mademoiselle is one of my all-time favorites for fall, winter. You bet your ass I have it. Just saying. Do you know what? I love men's perfume. Using my dad's Sap Sauvage. Cool Waters. Yes, please. I agree. And I am not afraid to wear them either. Just saying. Flor de Portofino by Tom Ford. I've never smelled that. What if he watches the video and finds out, well, then I'm fucked, Freckly. Then I'm fucked. That's going to ruin its surprise. I just don't think he is watching it, I hope. I love anything Juicy Couture. I own just the regular Juicy Couture. So, you know, I've got the different variations. I have the regular. Kim, we need another video on your vlog channel. I know. If you weren't here earlier, I explained, I have so much content recorded for that. Videos are coming, for sure. Dolce & Gabbana, The One Desire. I don't know. I don't know if I've smelled that one. About Valentino. Is one of Valentino's called Donna or Donna? Am I thinking of the right brand still? If I am, I like that. I do like that. I never say the name right, so don't judge me, but Kayali Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I have 2 bottles of it, bitch. 2 bottles. I love it. Love it. The dry down on that, on my skin, fucking fabulous. I love. All right? Love. It's right up there with my old school, like, cotton candy scents. I still like Aquilinos, pink sugar. I still like that. And I will definitely wear it occasionally. And I like to mix it with the bougie marshmallow. And they smell so good. I still have Gail Heyman's delicious cotton candy too. Is it Zakami? I love it that we are too. Remember Lulu. You're jarring my memory. I'm not going to lie, though. When I read I was thinking of Lulu, the handbag by YSL. But you have sparked a memory that I think I do know what you're talking about with Lulu, but I'm not 100% sure. Dolce & Gabbana, the one for 6 months, I would smell it on the train. I would try to sniff who it was. Ended up being a very good-looking guy. That smell does it for me every time on a man. Every time. I love that. You see how scents connect us to memories, to moments? And you can just walk into a room and smell a scent and have an instant memory of something. That's why I love smell me goods. It's why. Because it hits. They hit right here. And they give me moments of remembering things. Like, I will tell you, here's some useless information about me. That when I was, I'm going to say, like, finally kind of coming out of the hole that I had been living in. And that sounded terrible the way I just worded that. But, you know, I have shared in the past that I was not always the happiest person. I didn't love my life. See, for anybody who's waiting for the manifestation content, this is going to tie together with sense and manifestation. When I was sincerely, I feel, climbing out of the depths of my, I don't know if I don't want to say I was, officially depressed, but I only had one good thing in my life, and that was my kid. And I'm saying that as, well, he's always going to be the number one thing in my life. He's my kid. But I hated everything about myself. He was the only thing that would bring me joy. And it sustained me for many years, but there came to a point where I knew I couldn't stay living hating myself. And, at some point I found law of attraction, which then led me to law of assumption, Neville Goddard. But if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, well, there was no law of assumption channels when I found it. There was nothing, and there were really, in the beginning, there was no law of attraction channels. The only thing you could find was like replays of Abraham Hicks content. There were no big channels yet. So I'm going to say, like, this was the beginning of law of attraction YouTubers starting to pop up. And literally there was like 2 or 3 people. There wasn't nothing like there is now. So there wasn't a lot to learn from or, to hear videos about it, blah, blah, blah. Not right away. So I'm going to say it was like the beginning of me kind of coming out into life again. And that's mentally how it felt. Like I was coming alive again, starting to deal with my mind. And because at the same time, I was really intrigued by this whole conscious manifestation thing. So anyways, in the beginnings, as I'm reading Neville Goddard and getting lots of downloads and starting to really believe that it's possible that I could change my life, I remember going to buy myself a perfume for like the first time, and it felt like a million trillion years. The first time really just getting down and buying something like that for myself. And it was Princess by Vera Wang. So when I smell that perfume now, I am instantly brought back to that excited feeling I had when I went and bought the perfume. And to be honest, when I bought the perfume, all I was buying was the rollerball. That's all I could afford at the time. So, but I was over the moon that I walked into a Sephora, me in a Sephora, buying perfume. Best moment ever. But so that scent takes me back to that moment. So there you go. Look at that. And look at how life changed through all the years. See what happens when you stay awake. Thank you, Brenda. I still love that perfume. You like I do too. I have a bottle of it. I always keep a bottle of it because of that, because of my nostalgia with it. Okay, Kim, I'm going to the mall after this. I've been meaning to scent shop and I'm inspired. Yeah, you're going to have to come back and let us know what you bought. And you are the princess. Thank you. So are you. We all are. Oh, and princes, if there's dudes, and princes. What is the smell of the princess perfume? So I can't tell you sitting here like the exact word for word notes because I don't fucking remember. But to me, I think it is a floral oriental kind of scent. You know, that category of oriental. So it's got, when you first spray it, you could smell the florals, like whoosh. I don't know. It's like, I can smell like rose, a droplet of gardenia, droplet, not a whole lot. Maybe you don't even smell the gardenia yourself, but I do. It's just a little boop. And it's, my descriptions, there's a crispiness to it at first. A crispiness. If you've ever smelled Coco Mademoiselle, I call that crispy. There's a crispiness to that scent. It smells like that at first, but then it dries down to that floral, orientally type scent. That's how I describe it. Listen, this is why I'm not a professional scent descriptor, but it's a prettiness. There's a pretty, sweet, but not sickeningly sweet, / floral / oriental. That's how I would describe that. Don't know if that's helpful. I love the heart-shaped bottle too. Every time I smell Sauvage, I'm more than reminded of SP, as he knew it was my favorite. So when I or my dad wears it, it hits home. Oh, I love that. But think of that as that's the connection. And every time you spray it, every time that you're, reminded of SP, he's immediately thinking of you, because it really, we're all one consciousness. So he is. They think about you when you think about them. No exceptions. Brenda, you should try it. And you can get it at, like good prices. Like cheap prices, I'm saying now, because I don't even know if it's still being manufactured, but like, what do you call it? Those websites like Fragrance Net or FragranceX.com, where they have much lower prices on sometimes discontinued perfumes. You can get it there. How about Alien Perfume? So that's by Thierry Mugler, right? I like that. I do like that. I don't own it though. I only own a sample of it. I will. It sounds really good and the bottle is beautiful. The bottle is beautiful. And I don't know if I've only ever owned the rollerball or the 3.4 ounce bottle. So I don't know if this is all the bottles, but on my 3.4 fluid ounce bottle, and I've owned 2 of them, when you take the cap off, like, so the crown, right? The cap is a crown. You take the crown off, there's like a ring underneath the crown that I don't know if it's supposed to be, and this is something that I never knew. So I might sound stupid because maybe this was supposed to happen, but it literally comes off and you can wear it as a ring. Like for real, for real. And depending on the size of your fingers, you could wear that crown as a ring too, just saying. I just love perfume bottles that have intricacies like that about them. Oh my God, what about La Vieste Belle? I don't know if I said that right. Love it. And I believe that is the sister to Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf. Yes, there is some differences, but if you were to put La Vieste Belle here and put Flower Bomb here, let it dry down, then bring up and smell, there will be similarities. And again, they're sisters, not twins, sisters. And I love that one. There you go. There's one I forgot to mention for a fall winter scent. To be honest, I very rarely, I'm not saying never, because I do have some that are not. And this is something that I know I need to like come to terms with, because I love seeing the perfume bottles. I love, and like if like watching other people's videos on YouTube, you know, when they do their perfume haul or my perfume collection, I love watching those videos. Or when people are just doing vlogs around their house and they show like their perfume area, I'm obsessed with looking to see what perfumes they have. So I love seeing the bottles on display. And there are some beautiful perfume bottles out there, I'm just saying. However, I'm so damn anal retentive about worrying about my perfume going bad that I very rarely allow my perfume to stay outside of their original boxes. And not all the boxes are pretty. Not all the boxes are boxes I want to keep looking at, but I just can't, because I'm so anal about keeping them in darkness the best that I can, especially now that I'm in a bedroom with 3 bright ass windows in it. Because I was hoping when I got this new dresser, the hutch that came with the dresser, that I was going to be able to put my perfumes out like I've always wanted. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Because all I'm thinking about is how I don't want them to age faster. So, do you like Arabic fragrances? I don't know. I'm not going to lie, because I'm not sure. I could be dead ass wrong. Isn't Kayali? Isn't her perfume like in that area or no? Or am I totally dead wrong on that? You would have to name some for me to see if I actually know that something's specifically Arabic. I don't think I know. I had no idea that, like, oh my God, yes, it can, my friend. Yes, it can. Sunlight can have an impact, a big, like, let me convey to you the importance of what I'm saying. A big impact on the shelf life of really any smell me goods. Any smell me goods. I just don't care enough about my body sprays and lotions, but big. It can rapidly. Now, again, let's bring it back to manifestation for a second. Isn't that a limited belief? It is. I'm aware of it. But I'm aware that I am very entangled to that. So, hence why all my perfume is, I shouldn't say all, because I'm looking at a few bottles that are not in their boxes. That's only because their boxes must have fell apart for me to break down and throw out the box. Kim, a temperature-controlled room will help. I shelf in a closet for me. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Have you tried Bianco Latte? Am I saying that right? Bianco Latte? Smells like vanilla milk and honey for me. Oh my God, I have never heard of it. Swiss Arabian. And that is an Arabian scent. Duh, right? I don't think I've ever smelled it. But I would. Wait, isn't Baccarat Rouge something Arabic? You mentioned them earlier. I don't know. If it is, well then yes, I must like Arabic scents. I don't know if it is. I cannot even pronounce the name of the, what do you call it? You know, the brand name. I can't say it. It took me forever to figure out that it's Baccarat Rouge. Yara is a good Arabic one. Where are we getting these? Like, where do you guys go to find Arabic scents? Because I want to be able to go. I have the assumption that all my perfumes smell good no matter how long I've had them because I love the smell so much. That's a good assumption to have. That is a good one. Where are you guys getting this Yara? I want to smell it. Have you heard of Latafa? Latafa. I don't know if I'm saying it right, my friend. You know me. No, I have not. But I want to. Eclair is Arabic dupe for Bianco Latte. Where's Eclair? You guys got to hook this girl up. Where is Eclair? Where do I get that? What do I do when I feel fear about bad things happening? In my opinion, it's coming back to remembering who you are as source, as I am, and realizing that fearful thought can be there. It can be there, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen in the reality that you're choosing. So just because a thought comes in does not automatically mean that you are going to have to experience it. Thoughts are just optional other realities. Think of it that way. So you might be having a response to the thought, and I mean like an internal response, like a feeling when the thought comes in. That's your body responding out of habit. So it might make you feel better to tell yourself when a thought like that comes in that, yes, I'm aware that that's an option, but that's not the reality I'm choosing. That's not the reality I'm choosing. Period. I am fill in the blank. But just because a bad thought comes in, that doesn't mean anything. Thoughts can be there. What are you dropping the OF? What is that? What is the OF? When are you dropping the OF? What's that mean? My snobby perfume son just walked through hearing you talk about this and was like, duh, Mom. I love that. And I love that your son loves Smell Me Goods. What's the one that smells like milk and honey? I don't know. I want to know. It's this Bianco Latte. Where did we get this? Amazon. The yellow Yara is my favorite. Okay. I don't have a pen. I don't have any supplies upstairs to know. I wonder if I can screenshot this. Okay. But it doesn't last long. Even TikTok Shop too. Has anybody here ever purchased anything on TikTok Shop? Because I have never. My mom sells Yara, Baccarat Rouge, Arabian Princess, Latafa, etc. There's such a hit here. So are you saying that Baccarat Rouge is an Arabian scent? And I know how much I love both the X-Tray and the regular, so I need to be checking these out. Online, you can find all of the Arabic perfumes, and they are cheap. Well, Baccarat Rouge ain't. So they forgot to lower the price for Baccarat Rouge. Thank you very much. I had to buy mine from Paris and have it imported to get around the U.S. prices, just so you know. I have Eclair. I get compliments all the time, but I can't smell it on me at all. Well, where did you get Eclair? For real natural health, I am sorry that your first live is this one because we are talking so much about Smell Me Goods instead of manifestation right now, and I do apologize. OnlyFans. Oh! Really? What am I? Really? OnlyFans? What the fuck am I going to put on OnlyFans? What the fuck? I would never. I can't even believe that. You're breaking my balls. I had somebody ask, you weren't downstairs changing your username or something, so you put that comment in my thing, did you? Because we had some rando just ask me, when am I doing an OnlyFans? Let me see your face. I don't know if I
thought you already did.
On what? You're such an idiot. Google Eclair and you will find so many places to buy it from. You will love it so much. I'm going to screenshot that too. So hold on. Okay. Oh, he was a troll? Oh, well then up there, buddy. Right there. How about that? It's called nose blind. I think, LOL, that's why you can't smell it on you. Yes, I agree with that. Well, it's true. Baccarat Rouge ain't. It's expensive. Hold on, I'm screenshotting you, Zakami3. I'm screenshotting that, so I'm going to check all those out. Okay. My God, the faces that I'm making in the frozen stills. My God. All right. Can you describe how we should feel, focus, be when it is done? I'm trying to just declare it is done, but I find myself wondering how it is going to happen. Should I totally ignore that? It's not that necessarily you're ruining things by daring to think about how it's going to happen. But if it doesn't feel good to think that, then no, I would not entertain that. And how to feel or be when you know it's done is, let me give an example. I'm looking around here. All right. I know that I have a bottle of this Revlon Aura Fluido elixir, this hair oil. I have it. I bought this. I have it. It's done. It's here. I have no feelings about this other than I enjoy this product. But it's here. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about running out of it. Nah. If I run out, I'm going to buy another. Not a big deal. I'm just going to put an order in. It's done. I'm not stressing it. I don't have to keep thinking about it. I don't have to keep measuring how much is left to know when I'm going to run out of it. I don't care. I'm just living life. It's kind of like feeling like that. It's no different. I know that probably wasn't the best example. When you know something is yours, or that you're going to have it, you don't spend a lot of time focused on the not having it. You just comfortably know it's yours. Now, when we're consciously manifesting, because we're human, yeah, our mind might wander to wondering, where is it? How come it's not here yet? Those are the moments to remind yourself of who you are. Now, that doesn't mean because you have to punish yourself because you dared to think the question, where is it? It's just when you know you have something, that question doesn't come up. Hence why you remind yourself who you are. And other than that, it's just living your life. It's just living your life. Think of it as, I don't know if you have your driver's license, but I'm going to use that as the example that prior to getting your driver's license, you would think about getting your driver's license and what you would be able to do with it once you had it. You know, the freedom of hopping in the car and driving wherever you want without somebody yelling, you put on the brakes, blah, 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 right? You just know you're going to get your license. You might think about, oh, I wonder if I'm going to pass the test. I wonder if I'm going to have to take it more than once. You might occasionally get thoughts like that, but you don't stay stressed, focus on it. You don't put your life on hold, but you thinking about I'm going to have my license or I'm going to get my license, that also isn't keeping it away from you. You end up taking the test and getting your driver's license. You just kept living life. It's the same thing. Does that make sense? Or those shitty examples? I do like some boozy scents. Yes. Who do you believe you are, Gypsy? Who do you really believe you are? See, right now you're noticing time, right? It's been a year, haven't had movement. Are you serious? I'm so sorry if you all just heard him. He just burped loud. This is where I'm going to be ending the live stream here shortly. Because he's upstairs now. He's going to want to go to bed because he's got to get up early in the morning. And I'm upstairs in the bedroom doing this live stream. So when you're noticing time, it's been a year. That doesn't mean that absolutely nothing has been happening this entire year. But ultimately, who do you really believe you are? Are you someone manifesting? I don't know if you said it was an SP manifestation. Oh, I'm glad you didn't hear him, Rhonda. I'm glad. Thank God. Hog. Do you believe you are the you who's manifesting? I think you said specific person, so an SP. Or are you the person who knows it's done? You are source. You are the version of self that has the desire. Do you know that? Or do you think that you're still trying to get it? And that's okay. Listen, if you say, I feel like I'm the self trying to get it, that's okay. Now you're aware. You're aware of that now. You're not trying to get anything. That's a version of you. That's a version of you that exists out of the infinite. But that's not the version we want to be. Because we don't want to keep trying to get. We want to just be. Being. So bring your focus over here. But I'm saying this to anybody. It doesn't matter how long you've been manifesting. If you've had no movement, that doesn't mean nothing's been happening to your benefit. It does not mean that. And listen, I've coached a lot of people. I've been on this YouTube for quite some time. Okay. I've had lots of people that I've coached who have went even longer than a year with no movement. And then suddenly, like a flood or like a floodgate bursts and boom, 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 boom. More than movement, meaning it fully manifests and then all of their other areas of their life are changing. And sometimes it happens on the opposite, like boom, 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 boom. All their other areas of life, things are changing and moving. They're changing and moving. And then boom, their SP pops in. I've seen it happen in all different ways. What I'm trying to say is that I've had a lot of people who didn't have, let me word it like, no movement that they were perceiving. Let me say it like that. But stuff was happening the entire time, and they still got their desire. So lack of movement doesn't have to be anything more than a version of yourself deciding there's no movement. We don't want that. We want to be the self that has. Okay? All right, my friends, this is where I'm going to go because he's going to bed and I don't feel like having him burp on my live stream again. Yeah. I wish you could see him giggling in the corner like he's so proud of himself. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you all probably tomorrow. And some of you I do see tomorrow. So I loved the perfume talk, guys. I love that. You know what? If you guys ever feel like it, we could also go live on my other channel. If you ever want to. If any of you that are subscribed to my other channel, we could do live streams over there. I just never really think about it. But by all this perfume talk tonight, we can go live over there sometime. We'll talk about anything you want. Okay? All right. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Protect me, poop.
You hear him? Protect me, poop.